r/ask Reddit. What is your favorite quality versus quantity example? Approximately 30 years ago I bought a couple of cooking spoons, each a solid piece of stainless steel. Paid $6 total. My mother-in-law beached at me for wasting money because I could have gotten the cheap chromed ones with plastic handles for $3.78 total. I said the two I chose would last longer. She said I just wanted fancy things and thought I was better than other people. I'm still using mine 30 years later. Hell, my grandchildren will probably be using them. They are beautiful and functional. Edit, as requested. The spoons. https imgur.com/8wrnf03. I never understood that viewpoint. That wanting to spend a little extra for quality means you think you are better than everyone. It's not like you bought a Rolls Royce. They are only spoons. Edit. To all the people who think I am shaming Rolls owners, go look for something else to be offended by. I am comparing the low cost of upgrade in the spoons, a couple dollars, to the much larger upgrade of the Rolls. I know, right? And it's not just that Mill was looking for reasons to pick at me. She would almost always buy the cheapest possible tools and clothes and grooming supplies. The only thing she spent lavishly on was food. I think she legitimately thought I was a snob because I took care of my skin, not even fancy products, and tried to buy good tools. I shop at thrift stores and garage sales and I don't demand designer clothes and stuff. Friends. Keep the circle small. Edit. Thank you for the 2 silvers, kind strangers. Smiling face. Friends. Do what works for you when it comes to friendships. I am older, been a lot of places and experienced a lot. Time is the greatest test and your greatest teacher. Much love to all of you. Red heart as an exclamation mark. It's likely that you will only have a small number of really close friends, but we shouldn't make a virtue out of having few friends. Keep your closest homies close, but it's fine to have circles of medium friends, work buddies, acquaintances. We shall strive to be friendly with people and not retreat into a no new friends mentality. Agreed. I live in the Boston area and was born here, but I hear from new transplants that it is so hard to make new friends here, because the mentality seems to be, you form your core clique early and then that's it. No new friends because you don't have the time. So then if you move here and don't already have your clique and you aren't still in school, you're kinda stuck. I'm much more outgoing and I really enjoy making new friends. I still have my core group of a few very close friends, but a much wider network of medium work friends. Also, one of said medium work friends eventually became one of my besties and now her and her husband are godparents to my child. If you set up a mental roadblock of I only need X friends, then you are not only missing out on potential great friendships, but you are essentially creating a shunning situation to anyone new to the area. Tools. 1 quality screwdriver, wrench or whatever will last you a lifetime and can replace dozens of cheap tools. I like Adam Savage's take on this. Buy the cheap tool first, and if you use it often buy a better one. No use in buying expensive tools which you don't use a lot. I call that the Harbor Freight rule. If you find you need a tool you don't own, buy the Harbor Freight knockoff, and if you use it enough it fails, then you know you use it often enough that it's worth it to invest in a quality product. If you only use it once or twice a year, you'll likely never wear it out, and it wasn't worth it to spend big money on quality. Edit. Holy exploding inbox. Batman. Row. Thanks for all the love. Folks, it means a lot that so many of you have been genuinely helped by this tip. Many warm fuzzies. A nice fitted suit versus 3 ill-fitted suits purchased from an average place. Same price, but makes a world of difference. The worst suit I've ever been fitted for is my birthday suit apparently. Needs ironing. Work. You will have some bosses that say take any time you need. Get your job done and be ready to work when you have to, while others want your butt in a chair at your desk for 8 hours every day. No questions asked. I'm a software engineer for an application used by a call center. We had a major release that helps automate some of the steps that the call center workers would otherwise do manually. It cut the average call time by about 40%, which we were really happy about. A few weeks later, One of the call center managers asked if we could remove the new feature because the employees weren't spending enough time on phone calls. This completely incompetent moron thought quantity of work was literally the only thing that mattered. I was like, dude, the whole point is to keep customers happy by limiting the length of their calls. He was ready to duck over our customers and all of his employees for no reason. Edit. It wasn't something they were getting measured on. Although, I totally see where you guys are coming from there. I don't believe anybody was let go, but I think they did eliminate some open positions. It was probably impacting a metric that his annual review depended on. Alfredo's Pizza Cafe vs. Pizza by Alfredo. Pizza by Alfredo is a hot circle of garbage. It's a hate crime in a dish. For me, it's working out. I do about 10-15 legit push-ups per set instead of rushing and doing 100 not legit push-ups. Edit. I do not mean that you should stop on this. I agree with all that you must increase reps or add on additional weight. My point is that doing your workout in right pose and right shape is more important than doing many but not in right pose. That's it. P.S. I also said that I do 10-15 reps per set. I do about 5 sets, so count that up. Same here. I just do one push-up, but it's ducking amazing. One is all you need. People who can't stop talking all the time but their words mean nothing, and people who only say a few words but they are valuable. Word. Brevity is the soul of wit. Clothing. I used to buy so many cheap items of clothing because it was only a few dollars. Then one day I realized I had so much clothing but nothing that great or that lasted more than a few uses. It's so much better to buy a couple of good quality pieces of clothing that you can wear for multiple occasions than to buy a bunch of cheap stuff. This so much. I used to buy pants for like $20 a pair. Because what psycho spends $100 on a pair of jeans? Finally I realized, yay. The pants were $20 each, but I was going through 3-4 pairs a year. Went out, spent a few hundred on some higher quality jeans and shorts, and have had the same pairs for going on 4 years now. Still no holes or anything. I got a pair of Levi the other month, out of curiosity of what spending that much more would get me. I have no idea if they will last, but they are a much better fit than the cheaper jeans I bought on the same day. I know they aren't the best in the business, but I was pleasantly surprised to find there was actually a step up. A party. I used to party a lot because I thought that's what fun was supposed to be. Now I just sometimes go to the parties I myself really like. Much better. I tried going to rages and found that they just weren't my thing. I'd always feel weird in high school and college when I would say no to parties like that, since I felt like I should have been going. But even so, I'd much rather chill around a bonfire, watch movies and play games, and just keep the parties smaller with a closer group of friends. Found it to be much more fun that way. I feel like a lot of people attend the big parties because there is more of a pool of potential friends, hookups and potential partners. Once I started seeing someone, the big parties just didn't have much appeal to me other than hanging out with friends. When I became single again, they were a great way to meet new people though. Ducks. I'd rather have one really great duck than a bunch of shitty ones. How do you measure if your duck is great or shitty? How do you know if your pizza is great or shitty? Some things you just know. There's been a recent trend of TV shows only having like 10 episodes per season instead of 20+, and a lot of times it's so much better for the show. British TV has been doing that for years, largely due to budget constraints, and it's one of the reasons many of the big dramas are really tight on the story and characterization. I'm glad to see it's a trend that American TV is jumping on. Yeah, British TV was kind of hard for me to get into at first because of that. I would think 5 episodes for a season? Really? That's it? But over time you realize that each episode is better made than if you had a 20-season show. I'd rather eat in one great restaurant once a month than go somewhere crap or order takeout on a more frequent basis. I go somewhere crap once a month. I'm the opposite. I've eaten at a few really nice restaurants because my family likes that kind of thing, and I have never found the food at $50 100/person places to be worth the difference compared to a $10 15/person place. Service is usually better. Edit. Got a lot of panties in a bunch with this. Some people like different stuff than you. It hurts to hear, but it's the way things are. Not everyone who disagrees with you just hasn't had actually good food or must be going to the wrong places or has broken taste buds. My mom's last days. 2 weeks from pancreatic cancer diagnosis to her death. We were expecting to be able to care for her at home for at least a couple of months. She refused treatment, but 2 days after coming home, realizing how much strain would be put on us to care for her, my eldest niece was on the verge of dropping out of her final year of school to look after her beloved granny. I think my mom, always a stubborn independent one, just decided, nah, not doing this to my family. I'm going to go see my husband. But honestly, the 2 days we had with her were all quality. Someone was sitting with her every second. She battled to speak at the end, but her kids and grandkids and her puppy were all there. We all got to say everything that had always been unsaid. When we ran out of words, we sang to her. She literally died in her granddaughter's arms. Of course, we'd have loved a bit longer, but for her, quality was definitely better than the quantity that would just have included increasing suffering and dependence and indignity. My sister-in-law was terminally ill. She had suffered for a few years plodding along, but I think she had enough. She had a great day with my wife, and when she got home she didn't take the medication she needed to live. She died on the sofa lying down chatting with my wife. We didn't find out till later that she didn't take her meds. My wife thinks maybe she was too weak to get them. I know different. She was an incredibly strong, independent woman. She'd had enough and went out on her own terms after having a great day. That's probably one of the best ways to pass, with family caring for you and there for you. Studying. I have friends who study for hours and hours but don't target specific material in a way that's effective. There have been tons of academic studies that show which kinds of studying are the most effective for attention, so I stick to those and end up studying for far less time. Edit. Worst studying techniques are cramming and rereading or highlighting the material. Best studying techniques are slower and cumulative and involve rewriting the material into a study guide or flashcards, as well as doing lots of practice questions. I have a book recommendation for you. Deep Work by Cal Newport. Think you'd like it? D-edit. Link to its Goodreads page http://www.goodreads.com bookshow/25,744,928 Deep Work. Makeup. Can't believe no one else has said this. And I don't mean to shame anyone too much. Makeup is disgusting, but you can get a good coverage with good quality products instead of having to reapply shit stuff by layers. Man, makeup is such a crapshoot. You can buy a $10 foundation and it can be amazing or awful. Same goes with a $50 foundation. You can read or watch all the reviews first, but everyone's skin and preferences are unique, so it will work differently for you. I know this is kind of a tangent, but I felt it was worth mentioning. I recently went to Sephora to get a new foundation with SPF, and they gave me little sample cups of a couple different ones to try at home. I think they do samples of almost anything that can be easily put into a sample portion. It's not a lot of product, but definitely enough to know if something is right for your skin before dropping a lot of money on it. Shoes, especially if you're active and or work on your feet. Death. I'd rather die once and do a quality I am out of here than die and keep respawning. What if you die to some cheap exploit? That would be bullshit. Better to stay quiet and be assumed an idiot than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. Speak little but say a lot. After a while, people will begin to realize that when you do open your mouth, it's because you have something important to say and tend to listen much more closely than they would to a chatterbox making the same point. Better speak up to be proven an idiot than stay quiet and remain one. Yes, but also remember, he who does not ask remains a fool forever. Don't be afraid to have questions before you've reached the point where you can speak little but say a lot. Birthdays and anniversaries wouldn't be special if you had them every day, right? There was a year where it seemed like we had to go to a birthday party every 2 weeks, and you're right, they kind of stopped being special. If you had a birthday every day, you'd die in a few months. Mine is small and might seem obvious, but breathing through nose versus mouth, you can take a lot more air through mouth, but your nose works like a filter that stops a lot of pollution and unwanted microelements. That might not be much, but I wanted to share it. One day someone brought the topic and I smiled upon that example. Also, breathing through your mouth dehydrates you or something. Oxygen is also not great for the enamel on your teeth. Edit. Looks like my dentist may have been simplifying or just plain wrong. Check out u/Dentologed's reply below. I reckon he has got it with number 2. Sex. Bad sex is bad sex. It's not like pizza. It's just like bad sex. I disagree a little bit. Bad sex is like bad pizza. They can be really bad. That's why I've always thought that expression was a bit off. Bad pizza is bad, and I'd rather not have it. The Grand Army of the Republic vs. the Confederacy of Independent Systems in Star Wars. Edit. Holy shit, this blew up. THX for my first gold kind stranger. Life. I would rather die than be kept alive by a machine. The quality of my life is far more important to me than the amount of time I live. My grandfather died recently, and the last couple months of his life was a bunch of people giving him ass chewings over how if he wants to live a month or so longer, he needs to eat this food instead of what he wants, and do this instead of that. And see, I just don't get the point. One good kitchen knife. One good pan for cooking. Cowboy Bebop is only 26 episodes. You can read the textbook cover to cover, read the notes over 3x, but if you don't absorb anything you're wasting your time. It's better to go over the lectures slowly and try to predict what kind of questions will be asked on the exam. Then write your own practice exam. Take a break to clear your mind, and see how much of it you get right. Compliments. Constant stream of compliments greatly lessens the impact, and even if there are some genuine ones among other, they go unnoticed. If you give very few compliments, but always mean them, they are something that will stick with people sometimes their entire lives. I've gone through about 6 cars and finally got a nice Toyota, and this shit is nicer than all 6 cars combined and will hopefully run longer than all 6 cars combined. Masturbation. You can do it all day but come up with no cum at all. Once you stop for a bit and then do it again, you'll be able to fill the bottle. So kids, take breaks. 5 times a day, don't keep the doctor away. Edit. You did it again, Reddit. My most upvoted post is about masturbation and cum. Thanks. Stupid story, but the first time I ever masturbated, I realized I had no clue how much cum comes out. My dad had this bad habit of stealing those 20 ounces plastic cups from Chinese buffets, so I grabbed 2 of them from our kitchen to cum into. In retrospect, 40 ounces of cum was a brash prediction. Imagine the other way around. You grab an empty McNugget sauce cup but get a 40-ounce gusher. Tattoos. Much better to wait, save the money and get well done ones that you enjoy, even if they are dumb and pointless. At least they are good quality. Food. You can take 30 minutes of your life and cook something nice for your stomach and your taste buds, or you take a shovel and fill your mouth every 10 minutes with some shitty low quality products. But why is our other option eating every 10 minutes? Medications. Quantity can literally kill you. I'd prefer one mighty poop over pebble dashing the back of the toilet with 1,000 tiny pooplets. I took a poop that was easily 14 inches long yesterday. It rose from the toilet drain, up the back of the bowl, out of the water, curled around, and all the way back down next to itself. Hadn't pooped in 4 days. I just wanted somewhere I could say that where it was slightly relevant. Memes. It's a bad time when your feed is drowning in bad memes. Find 1 or 2 accounts you like, and that's it. Waiting tables. Even in the same restaurant you can have different people, sections, or even just a different night that rolls to the other end of the spectrum. One really good group and nothing else to do gets hangout time and lots of hand-picked recommendations. Crazy busy gets everything as quick as can be so that the table gets used more times. Either one can make you lots of money. You just have to recognize the situation and roll with it. Birmingham, UK, having more canals than Venice. Book length. So much can be conveyed in such few words. So little can be said in gigantic books filled with paper wastelands. But a well-written book that is also lengthy. Sign me the duck up. Examples are Game of Thrones books, Count of Monte Cristo, East of Eden, and many people OFC can attest to Harry Potter being lengthy but good. for me if a book is good. I want it to last for a while. I hate it when I read a good book and there isn't enough world building or character development because the novel is only like 200 pages long. I don't know if it's been said, but toilet paper. I can buy a 12 pack of horrible at one ply and feel like I'm wiping my ass with dragon teeth. Or buy a 3 pack that has good quality and feels like I'm wiping with clouds. Dating websites. A lot of people get caught up in presenting themselves in a false light to generate more matches, and thus, more sex connection etc. I fell into this same trap. After a year of serial dating with no real emotional connection, I decided to overhaul my page to limit my matches and find someone real. Well, I fashioned my Tinder profile to reflect the real me. I'm a weird guy. I posted pics exclusively with a man bun. I reference The Office throughout my bio, and really took myself out of my comfort zone. A week goes by with 0 matches, and I start to question if I made the right decision. But then, I get a match from a girl who sent me this message. You think you're weird? You've met your match. Needless to say, we have been dating for a while now, and have hit it off. All of my friends approve. My mom approves, and she is a breath of fresh air. She is so ducking weird and I love it. The dating scene as it currently is all about instant gratification, quantity. But if you shift your focus towards being patient, you are setting yourself up for much more success. Quality. Fancy restaurants. I cannot say this enough, but an amazing gourmet meal with maybe smaller quantities but a sensory overload at each bite is worth more than 100 Big Mac. IDK man, 100 Big Mac sounds pretty good. Winter jackets. I got my husband a very expensive ski jacket that is warm, lightweight, but breathable. The last one he had was purchased 8 years ago. My friend was disgusted that I spent so much on the jacket. She buys a few $100 in cheap jackets every year. I told her to tally up how much she's spent on her jackets and she spent double what I paid. This isn't to say every jacket should be that expensive, but he hasn't had to replace it for quite some time. Cola. My parents used to buy generic store brand cola all the time. I wondered why they would do it, because that stuff tasted awful. It was vile, but it was cheap. Perfect for satisfying a degenerate addiction. Now when I buy cola, I go to a smaller store that sells a Mexican Coca-Cola that comes in the glass bottles and has real cane sugar in it. I only ever drink it if I have something to celebrate. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.